This is where Pennsylvania's legislature met, and they created the laws for the colony of Pennsylvania. One of the more interesting laws, we just had an anniversary. March 21st, 1772, these men passed a law allowing Presbyterians to serve in the legislature and to offer testimony in the courtroom across the hall. What was the problem before? Well, initially, you had to put your hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, and swear to tell the truth, swear to uphold the law. That's a book oath. Presbyterians did not like them in the 18th century. Because they refused a book oath, they could not participate in politics. Finally, the legislature ends that intrusion, and it's my way of getting the point across. This building had a whole life. It wasn't built to host a revolution. But in the spring of 1775, Pennsylvania's legislature moved out of this room. Men representing all 13 colonies moved in. These men are talking about what's happening in Massachusetts. What was happening in Massachusetts? War. British troops and Massachusetts militia had opened fire on one another. It's taking time, but these men from Georgia, New Jersey, Connecticut, they're starting to see that war in Massachusetts as everybody's war. There's a word for that. It's called solidarity. We were feeling it. These men created an army and sent the Continental Army to fight alongside Massachusetts militia. Armies need leaders. Coincidence? There was a tall man in this room wearing an officer's uniform of the Virginia militia. These men got a hint. That tall Virginian in uniform got a job. Washington got the nod to lead the Continental Army right here. Another Virginian in this room got another important job. This Virginian was not a soldier. He was a lawyer, persuasive writer. 33 years of age. His job was to write the Declaration of Independence. Help me out. Who is this 33-year-old Virginian? Thomas Jefferson. Jefferson had help. He didn't do it all by himself. We understand John Adams, Ben Franklin advised him. But the majority of the work was Jefferson's. When he brought it in here, the other men read it, said, "Way to go, Tom," and they all signed it, right? No. Doesn't work that way. Never does. Many of these men took exception to an awful lot of what Jefferson wrote. And they said, "Do you or do you not want my name at the bottom of the page?" You do? Well, for that to happen, you got to make a few changes. They started rewriting, deleting, crossing out. Does Jefferson like any of this? Does any author know? It's no longer his declaration. I like to remind people, one statement of Jefferson's survived any damage that could be done by the pen. The statement about all men being created something. What are all men created? Equal. Jefferson wrote it, and the declaration that was signed here, and don't worry, we'll talk about the signing and the date shortly. The declaration signed said the same thing. Now, why is that important? Well, it helped us as a nation end slavery. It helped President Lincoln keep a country together that wasn't very interested in staying together. And ladies, it helped us be included in political life too. All men are created equal. It could mean the male, it could mean a person, that includes women. What was signed in here is 1776 is not a set of laws. We're not talking laws. We're talking principles that guide us as a nation. Now we're going to talk about the date on which it was signed. Might not be the one you're thinking of. John Hancock, Ben Franklin, Sam Adams, Thomas Jefferson, 50 men picked up one of these, dipped it in a pot of ink, signed the Declaration here on, don't say July 4th, because of course. Take a guess? Yeah. Right day, wrong month. Add a month.
August 2nd.
August 2nd, yeah. Do you celebrate it? You go to fireworks every August 2nd? I know you don't. All right. August 2nd, 50 men signed. There are 56 signatures on the Declaration. When those other 6 men added and where, I have no idea. But we know 50 of them signed here August 2nd. Now we celebrate that July 4th. Remember I said they made changes to Jefferson's Declaration? On the 4th of July, right here in this room, they put the final revision to a vote and approved it. That's what we celebrate every July 4th. The approval of the Declaration, the adoption of the Declaration. And then we celebrate it signing every
August 2nd.
August 2nd, very good. Okay. Denise, were you listening? Yeah, August 2nd, thank you. All right, same room. 11 years later. It's the summer of 1787. And to talk about this room properly, 1787, we need to lose one of these tables. There are 13. We only need 12. What state, what tiny New England state boycotted the Constitutional Convention?
Rhode Island.
The powers that be in Rhode Island were in love with the Articles of Confederation. No need for change. For their opposition, they got a nickname, Rhode Island. Going rogue. Now that's Rhode Island. But there were fireworks here in this room. First off, there was confusion. Some of these men thought the plan was to fix the Articles of Confederation. Some of these men said, hold it, hold it. I thought we were going to start over. I wouldn't have left Virginia for any other reason. Right away, you've got to fight. Do you preserve what you have, or do you opt for change? Well, you know, on the fight. They scrapped the Articles, spent the next 4 months in this room arguing about how to run a country, and we live the results of their argument to this very day. It's called the United States Constitution. Seated in that very chair was the man in charge, Washington. Seated somewhere out here was 81-year-old Ben Franklin. And Franklin called people's attention to the half-sun carved into the top of that chair. He said it confused him. He couldn't tell if it was rising or setting. What cleared up his confusion was when 38 men signed the Constitution right here, September 17, 1787. Now, I'm going to throw some trivia at you. This is great trivia. 38 men signed. However, there are 39 signatures on the Constitution. What happened? Take a guess. Washington signed. Yes, he did. Excellent. Take another guess. One of the delegates signed twice. George Reed signed his name. Then he signed John Dickinson's name. Dickinson was not in the room. I know what you're thinking. fraud, forgery. And again, we have a letter Dickinson wrote to Reed assuring him, I approve of the Constitution, I think it's brilliant, I'd sign it if I could, but I can't be there. Do me a favor, George, you sign your name. That's what happened. 38 men signed, 39 signatures. Great trivia. When the ink dried on those signatures, Franklin said, my confusion is gone. I now have the happiness to know that is a rising and not a setting sun. You want to get your photographs now? If you're going upstairs, remember, safety. If you're leaving, that's okay. To do either of that, we go out